Hello mathematicians, today we see one nice problem from real analysis. Okay, let me raise the question. This is asked in 2016 December. Okay, let chi a of x denote the function which is 1 if x belongs to a and 0 otherwise. Okay, so this function is called a characteristic function of the set A. Okay, so first let's see one simple example. So we define chi a from close 0 comma 1 to R, and we fix the set A to be the closed interval 1 comma 4 and 3 comma 4. Okay, so usually characteristic function defined in a bigger set, and this set is usually a subset of this set. Okay, for example, in our case this A is a subset of this set. This will be the case always. Then this is just the definition of the characteristic function. Now if you draw the graph of the characteristic function, now this range, this is our set A. In this set A, the function will take the value 1. Outside, for example, close to 0, open 1 by 4. In this range, function takes the value 0. Again, open 3 by 4 to close to 1. This range, function value is 0. Therefore, this is the graph of this function. Now, I'll give you one simple exercise. This is also a CSIR problem. There is a CSIR problem with this idea. So, we define, so fix A some subset of R. Okay, define chi A from R to close 0 comma 1. That's the same usual chi function. For what A, chi A of x is a continuous function. Okay, so think about it. It's a very simple problem. For example, for this A, for example, this A, our function is not continuous. Why it is not continuous? Here it is 0. Then you have a jump discontinuity. Here it is continuous. Then jump discontinuity. Here it is continuous. Therefore, at these 2 points, the function is not continuous. Okay. Okay. So now we know how the graph of this function chi A looks like. Let's continue with the problem. Basically, once you understand the graph of this function, the problem is almost over. We just need a couple of few other facts. This is one such problem where if you can visualize the graph of the function, then it is the answer is immediate. Okay, let's continue. So now the function f of x is defined like this. F of x is summation n equal to 1 to 200 1 by n power 6 times chi of the interval close 0 open close 0 n by 200 of x. Again, x is coming from close 0 comma 1. This x is coming from close 0 comma 1. This means that the domain of f is close 0 comma 1. Okay, f is close 0 comma 1 to R, and f of x is defined like this. Then f of x is Riemann integrable, Lebesgue integrable, continuous function, monotone function. That's what we want to see. And all these things can be said immediately once you draw the graph of this function, or if you can roughly understand the graph of the function. Okay, so let's see how to visualize the graph of this function. Now we just expand this sum. It is a finite sum. So f of x equal to 1 by 1 power 6 times chi of 0 comma 200. So if you put n equal to 1, you will get just chi of close 0 1 by 200. Then for n equal to 2, 1 by 2 power 6 chi of g close 0 2 by 200 plus 1 by 3 power 6 chi of close 0 3 by 200 plus etc. 1 by 200 power 6 chi of 0 comma 200 by 200, that is 1. Okay. Now let's just let's try to visualize this function f of x. What is the graph of f of x? first you observe that if it is just a very simple observation, if chi a of x, by definition this is 1 if x belongs to a, and 0 if x is not belongs to a. Okay, now in this problem you always have some scalar in front of the function. So suppose you have a scalar alpha in front of chi a of x, then this won't change much. So you just will have alpha if x belongs to a and 0 if x belongs to a. Okay, so if you multiply alpha to a function, the function image will also get it multiplied by alpha. Next, we want to see how sum of two characteristic functions behaves. Okay, so I take two characteristic functions chi a, chi b. So a and b are some sets. Say we can take a and a subset of close 0 comma 1, and b is again some subset of close 0 comma 1. Okay, now since in the problem we always have some scalars here, here, so I take alpha times chi a plus beta times chi b of x. Okay, what will be the, so this is now one function, alpha chi a plus beta chi b, and I take x belongs to close 0 comma 1. So basically this, for the timing you assume this is close 0 comma 1. Okay, that this is the universal set, that is our close 0 comma 1. A is some subset of close 0 comma 1, b is some subset of close 0 comma 1. A intersection b can be empty also, that we don't know, but let's see. So alpha chi a plus beta chi b of x equal to alpha plus beta if x belongs to a intersection b. Why? If x belongs to a intersection b, then chi a of x will be 1. Chi b of x also 1, because a is in x is in both a and b. So you get alpha plus beta. Okay, now if x coming from this place, we know the answer. Suppose x is coming from this place, it means that x belongs to only a, x doesn't belongs to b. Therefore this quantity will be 0, this quantity will be alpha times 1, so we get alpha. Okay, similarly if x coming from this place, then this quantity will be 0 because x is not in a, this quantity will be x is belongs to b, so the x beta of x will be 1. In total we get this is beta. Okay, now x is coming from the outside, so x not belongs to a union b. In that case chi a of x is also 0, chi b of x is also 0, so in total it is 0. Okay, so this is how characteristic function behaves if you sum two characteristic functions. Okay, so when you sum two characteristic function, basically this x if x belongs to all the sets, then you have to sum both the coefficients. If x belongs to only this one, then the answer is this. If x belongs to only this one, then the answer is this. If x belongs to none of the sets a and b, the answer is 0. Okay, so from this we have observed that suppose you sum n many characteristic functions, chi a1, chi a2, etc., chi an, and so all this a1, a2, etc., an are subset of close 0 comma 1, and I take a x belongs to close 0 comma 1. Okay, and I want to find it image. Okay, if this x is in a1, then you will get alpha 1. Suppose if this x is also in a2, then you will get plus alpha 2. Okay, suppose x is not in any of this remaining set, then alpha 1 xa1 plus alpha 2 chi x2 plus etc. plus alpha in chi an of x will be just alpha 1 plus alpha 2. Okay, so whenever so in whichever an this x is there, its coefficient will be, we need to sum. Okay, that will be the image. Therefore when you sum n many characteristic function with some random arbitrary coefficient, the answer will be summation x belongs to alpha I, sorry, x belongs to ai alpha I hope this is clear to you guys. So if you look at the given function is of the form alpha 1 chi a1 plus alpha 2 chi a2 plus etc plus alpha 200 chi a200. Okay, so this is how the given function looks like. Alpha 1 is 1, a1 is close to 0, 1 by 200. Alpha 2 is 1 by 2 power 6, a2 is close to 0, 2 by 200. And finally alpha 200 is 1 by 200 power 6, a200 is close 0 comma 1. Okay. Therefore if we put a x here, we know how to calculate the image, because we know how to calculate the image of this type of functions. Okay, now let's understand the sets, how they are looks like as a subset of close 0 comma 1. So this is how the points look like: 1 by 2 200, 2 by 200, 3 by 200, 4 by 200, and etc etc 199 by 200, then 200 by 200, that is 1. Okay, so basically these are the right endpoints of our the given characteristic functions. Therefore first characteristic function is the characteristic function of this interval close 0 close to 1 by 200. Second characteristic function is close to 0 2 by 200. So close 0 2 by 200. Next characteristic function is on close to 0 close to 3 by 200. Next characteristic function is close to 0 close by 4 by 100. Finally close to 0 close to 200 by 200, that is 1. Therefore if you draw the characteristic function of chi close to 0 1 by 200, it will be how it looks like. In this interval it will take the value 1, everywhere else it will be 0. For example, this is the function in close 0 1 by 200, it will take the value 1, and everywhere else this is 0. Okay, so this is how this graph looks like. Then 1 by 2 power 6 chi of close 0 comma 200, how its graph will looks like. So we saw that how the graph of alpha times chi a will looks like. In the interval in the set a, it will take alpha, otherwise it will take 0. Therefore 1 by 2 power 6 times chi of close 0 to power 100, this graph of this function will looks like. In this interval close 0 close to 2 by 200, it will take the value 1 by 2 power 6, and everywhere else it will take the value 0. Okay, so this is the first function we saw, this is the second function. Similarly 1 by 3 power 6 chi of close to 0 3 by 200, it will be function like this. In the interval close to interval close to 0 3 by 200, it will take the value 1 by 3 power 6, because the scalar in front is 1 by 3 power x. In everywhere else it will take the value 0. Okay, so now we have understand how each of this function looks like individually. Okay, and we know how to sum them together also. Okay, so let's combine these two information and we draw the graph of this function f of x. So if you keep going like this, finally we will have 1 by 200 power 6 chi of close 0 comma 1. Chi of close 0 comma 1 is will take g1 in everywhere. Chi of close 0 comma 1 take the value 1 at all the points of close 0 comma 1, but we have 1 by 200 power 6 in the front. So this is 1 by 200 power 6. Therefore, this function will take 1 by 200 power 6 everywhere in the interval close 0, 1. Therefore, it is a constant function 1 by 200 power 6. Okay. So now we know each of this graph individually. Okay. So that the green functions are functions of each of these functions. Now we want to understand its sum. Okay. We already observed how sum of the uh, characteristic function behaves. So let's see. Now, first I define some numbers. Recall that alpha 1 chi a1, alpha 2 chi eta plus etc. alpha n chi an of x will be equal to, so wherever x, whichever ai x is belongs to, we have to sum the whatever coefficient in front of them. That is how the sum of the uh, this sum, the x evaluated at this sum is calculated. So we need the coefficients, sum of these coefficients occurring uh, in calculating function evaluating at sum of characteristic function. For that reason, we define sk to be summation n equal to 1 to k 1 power n by 6. Okay, because 1 by n power 6k, that is the coefficient appearing in front of the function. So if you notice, s1 is 1, s2 is 1 plus 1 by 2 power 6, s3 is 1 plus 1 by 2 power 6 plus 1 by 3 power 6, etc., etc. In particular, SI is increasing. Now, given this definition, we can draw the graph of the function f of x. Okay. Okay. So f is a function defined on the interval close 0, 1. Okay. So we'll take points from various interval, x here, x here, x here, x here, finally x here, and we see how its image behaves. Okay. Okay. Suppose I take my x here. This is my x. Suppose. Okay. Then this x belongs to close 0, 1 by 200 also, close 0, 2 by 200 also, close 0, 3 by 300 also. In particular, it is belongs to close 0, 1. So this x belongs to this interval, this interval, this interval, this interval, in all the intervals. So if x belongs to all that interval, we know how to calculate the image in this sum of characteristic function. We have to sum all the, we have to sum all this coefficient, that will be the image. Okay, so if you sum all this coefficient, what is that? That is S200. Okay, so remember, recall that we define sk to be summation n equal to 1 to k 1 by n power 6. Okay, so now what we want, some maybe better I write, we define sk to be summation k equal summation n equal to summation n equal to 1 to k 1 by n power 6. That is how we define. Now we want 1 plus 1 by 2 power 6, 1 by 3 power 6 up to 1 by 200 power 6. Basically that is S200. If you calculate S200, that will be summation n equal to 1 to 200 1 by n power 6. Okay. Therefore, uh, therefore in this, if you take a x belongs to this interval, then its image will be s200. Okay, so now if you look at these points, 1 1 by 2 power 6, 1 by 3 power 6, 1 by 4 power 6 up to 1 by 200 power 6, this keep decreases. But the this series, this finite sum sk, we saw them increasing. Okay, S1 is 1, S2 is 1 plus 1 by 2 and so on. So S1, S2, so this keep increasing. Okay, so S200 will be here. So we conclude that if X is in this interval, then its image will be S200. Okay. Suppose next we take x here. Okay, then x will be in closed 0, closed 2 comma 100, closed 0, closed 3 comma 100, closed 0, closed 4 comma 100, and so on. So x will not belongs to this interval closed 0 1 by 200, but x will be belongs to closed 0 2 by 100, closed 0 3 by 100, closed 0 4 by 100, and all these intervals. Okay, so you notice that if you take a x here, it will not belongs to this interval closed 0 closed 1 by 200, but it will belongs to all these intervals close 0 2 by 100, close 0 3 by 100, close 0 4 by 100, and so on. It will belongs to all the interval. Therefore only this coefficient 1, that will not come, but the sum of all the other coefficients will contribute. Therefore the image will be S100, S200 minus 1. Okay, therefore basically the you sum all the coefficient and you subtract 1, that is the image. If you calculate, if you take x from this interval. Okay, so I define this point to be S200, that sum minus 1. Then if you take any points in this interval, its image will be this point. Okay, so you may think what happens to the end points, but like as far as integration is concerned, 2 points doesn't matter, but it is not very difficult to figure out what is the image of this endpoint. So I will leave it to you guys as an exercise. Okay, now uh, okay, next we take a x here. Okay, if you take a x here, then that x won't belongs to this interval. Similarly, that x one belongs to this interval also. So basically these two functions coefficients won't contribute because x is not belongs to in this interval, x is not belongs to this interval. But after that you take any interval, x will belongs to that interval. Therefore the answer will be, what is the image? This coefficient won't come, this coefficient won't come. After this all the remaining coefficient will come. Therefore I define this number to be S200 minus 1 minus 1 by 2 power 6. Okay, so similarly you can argue, so you can find what is the image of point here, point here, point here, and so on. Okay, now at each step you are subtracting more and more number. Therefore this image will keep decreasing. Finally if you take a x here, okay, in the closed interval 1 by 99 comma 200 to 200 by 200, that is 1, then that x will belongs to, now if you take a x in this final interval, that x will not belongs to this interval, will not belongs to interval, will not belongs to any interval, it will belongs to only this close 0 comma 1. Okay, because once you take this here, it will not belongs to here, it will not belongs to here, it will not belongs to here, it will not belongs to, okay, only it will belongs to close 0 close to 1. Therefore only the last coefficient will contribute. So let's assume, so we saw that this number decreases at every step. Finally this is 1 by 200 power 6. Say this point is 1 by 200 power 6. Then in this interval, if you take the interval x here, its image will be 1 by 200 power 6. Okay, so now f is a function defined on close 0 comma 1. Okay, and if you take a x, it should coming from one of this interval, and each interval it behaves like this. Okay, this interval S200, the sum of all the coefficients. In the second interval, sum of all the coefficients first minus the first coefficient. So in the final, in this interval, only the last coefficient. Okay, now if you look at the graph, clearly it is a step function. Okay, so there is a simple result, like a function is Riemann integrable if and only if it is continuous almost everywhere. Okay, almost everywhere means the function is continuous outside a set of measure 0. Okay, but I don't want to go to measure and all, but Yeah, measure 0 means finite sets are measure 0, countable infinite sets are measure 0. But for this function, the set of discontinuity, what is the set of discontinuity at this point, this point, this point? All this function, the function has a jump discontinuity. Therefore, these points are the only discontinuity. Clearly, there are only finitely many. Okay, therefore by that result a function is Riemann integrable if and only if it is continuous almost everywhere. By using that result you can conclude that it is Riemann integrable, or there is a much simpler way. Okay, this function, characteristic function, is a very easily you can prove it is Riemann integrable. So you calculate the lower sum and upper sum, it will be equal. Okay, therefore it will be Riemann integrable. Then in many interviews they will ask you prove that sum of two Riemann integrable is Riemann integrable. Okay, so if you use that result, so this is sum of Riemann integrable function. So it is, I mean, so each of these functions are Riemann integrable. Sum of Riemann integral function is Riemann integrable. So the sum is Riemann integrable. The proof is very simple. If you look at any standard textbooks on real analysis, you will see the proof. Okay, the proof uses just the properties of additive properties of supremum and infimum. You can prove that sum of two uh, Riemann integrable function is Riemann integrable. Beck integrable means, okay, first it should be a measurable function, then you have to integrate it. The some integration value it should be finite. Okay. Now why this function is measurable? Again, so each step functions are measurable. Okay, either you can just assume step functions are measurable, or step function is the very first function you prove that it is measurable. Okay, just take the definition of measurable function. Again, sum of two measurable function is measurable, so you can conclude that f of x is a measurable function. And what is the integration value of this function f of x? So integration is nothing, integral 0 to 1 f of x dx will be just the area under the curve, right? So area under, so this area plus this area plus this area plus this area, right? This what is the area of this rectangle? So this length is 1 by 200, this is s 200. So you get uh, 1 by 200 times s 200 plus what is the area of this rectangle? Again this length is 1 by 200, because 2 by 200 minus 1 by 200, this is 1 by 200. And what is this length? This length is s200 minus 1. Okay, therefore we get 1 by 200 times s200 minus 1, so plus etc etc plus, again when you come to this interval, length of this interval is 1 by 200, sorry, 1 by 200 times what is the function value? So sorry, this is the function value, this is 1 by 200 power 6, okay, into 1 by 200 power 6. Okay, so clearly this is a finite number, therefore this function is measurable as well as has a finite integration value, therefore it is Lebesgue integrable. Okay, and about continuity, clearly it is not a continuous function, it is a discontinuous at all these points. It has a jump discontinuity. And is it a monotone function? So maybe you think here it is going like a constant function, but from the definition it is clear that it is indeed a monotonic function. Okay, it is not, it is a monotonic function, it is not a strictly monotone function, but it is a monotone function. Okay, it is monotonically decreasing function. Okay, so we conclude that all these three options are wrong. Okay, so now when you prepare for exam, sometimes you need to read the books also, because there is a story behind each of the subject, and there is a picture also. So I'm seeing many people are just to keep solving problems. And this problem, when I asked one of my friend, he said that this is what he said. He said characteristic function is Riemann integrable, sum of the function is Riemann integrable, so this function is Riemann integrable. Then I asked him why characteristic function is Riemann integrable. He don't know. He just some of his friend told him it is Riemann integrable, and he said some of his Riemann integrable is integrable. He saw from some some internet or somebody, or during some discussion he know. So this result he remembers for all the time. So he use it in the problem and he solve the problem. But what you are missing is there is a beautiful subject behind it. There is a beautiful max behind it. So there is a image. From the image only you can understand everything clearly. So sometime next in the next year, like they will modify the question in some different way. Okay, one that time if you have the understanding of the subject, you can answer any twisted question also. If you just blindly remembering the results, and then it is very difficult. Even if you clear the exam, you going to go in one teaching direction or in the research direction. Okay, in both the direction, a clear understanding of the subject only will give you uh, good result. Okay, so if you understand things clearly, you can be a good teacher. If you understand things clearly, you can do research also more confidently. Okay, so try to read books, try to understand the subject, enjoy the subject, and solve the problems. Don't just keep running, solve problems, solve problems. Don't do it. It you are that is like there is a difference between practicing mathematics and learning mathematics. Okay, so don't practice mathematics, learn mathematics. Okay, I hope you understand this problem very clearly. If you like this problem, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.